Well, he didn't really have to convert me. Again, I had felt feelings for other men as well. And after a time when you're married, the sex is good for about the first 4 to 5, maybe 7 years max. And then you really feel an itch to enjoy passion again. The bonding phase is over, so you didn't have to do much convincing.
Well, I got a quick question. In an open relationship, it's one thing if you have the hots for another person, but what if you were to say, I love you, but with this other person, it's more than sex. I feel less lonely with them than I do with you. So, I mean, in an open relationship, how open is the relationship to having deep feelings for the other person, or does it always have to be just restricted to physical and sexual?
No, it's going to have deep feelings for other people. It's perfectly normal and natural to have all types of different connections with all types of different people.
Hey, what up, Carl? How you doing, man? I didn't know you was on the line.
Yeah, she said he was on the line.
Go on, Carl.
Is he under a pillow or something, dog? Is you with the other chick right now?
Carl with his side piece right now.
She's holding a gun to his head. Make sure you say the right things, Carl. Go on, Carl.
What's happening, Joe?
What's happening,
man? So the reality of it is, if you really keep it real with yourself, if you can be honest, and that's where the issue comes in with monogamy and the reason why people can't recognize this. So they can't be honest with themselves about how they really feel and with their partner. But if you keep it honest, then you'll see you have all types of different feelings for different people. Some are going to be, very light or just friendship. Some are going to be like deep love for people.
Okay.
And with openness, you allow that to occur.
Hey, Carl, I have a question. I have a question for everyone. So, is it okay in your marriage to say, I like that we are building a life together, but I actually feel closer emotionally to these other people. But I am glad that we are building this family together with our children, our church, and we got a great house. But if it's okay with you, I'd like more emotional closeness than you seem to want. So is it okay if I have that emotional closeness with someone else outside the marriage?
So wait a minute, Carl, Kenya, I need you guys to hold on real quick. We're about to take a quick break. Please remember the doc's question,
because we're going to come.
Because he'll forget it.
We're going to come right back to you.
Jesus.
Get to your phone line 855-878-4652 at T Radio V Radio and TV, the ZWMS Morning Show. Taking a break.
Phone? Is
we'll
that
be
how
back.
this works? How he has a rap career is beyond me. I don't get it. And he takes his shirt off. Oh my God, he looks like 50 pounds of chewed Tootsie Rolls with his... All right. Now, you are in white fashion. You know white boys always leave the house like they're going to help somebody move. Resist and defend the horrible hoes. There are some horrible people. And what you need to do is start policing your own. Okay, I'm back. That's my music. My music is fly. You need to get somebody working on your music. I was going to title this one, "Hey Man, get the sand out of your pussy and let's go." Oh. And as endearing as that is, it's a little wordy. So I'm going to go with what now? What now? This is a question that you have to ask yourself after the shit hits the fan. What now? This question implies two things. What? Meaning we're going to have to put some action into this bullshit that just happened. And when? Right goddamn now. You don't have yesterday. You don't have tomorrow. All you have is right now. Be honest about your what now. Be honest. If you want to just complain, my baby daddy don't give me no money. I just got raped in the shower.
Say more. Go more.
I just lost my job. Now I got to live at my mama's house. Whatever your what now is, be honest with yourself. If you want to sit here and complain, and that's what you're going to do in right now, fine. But please understand that sitting there in your pity party is not going to change your situation. And understand that you have elected to do that, and that is a choice, and it's yours to make, to sit and whine and that. Or you can take your what now and figure out what the fuck the next step is. In the words of Anthony Hopkins in the movie The Edge, do you know what most people in the wilderness die of?
What?
Not exposure, not starvation. They die of shame because they can't believe that they're in the situation they're in, so they don't do shit to get out of it.
Wow.
Do something. Get the sand out of your pussy, and let's go.
Wow. That was Jeff Brown's rendition of Tony Robbins. That was motivational.
Yeah, that's the ghetto Tony Robbins.
Right. That was Antonio Robbins. Appreciate it.
Antonio Quante Robbins.
Right. So listen, we've got new people on the show right now. We've got Uncle Bobby, author of Real Men Don't Play. He's going to be contributing to the conversation here shortly. If you just tuned in, we are talking about open relationships and marriages as a maybe a remedy for the high divorce rate and infidelity that happens in normal relationships. I believe a lot of people are in open relationships. It's just not declared. We have guests on the phone right now from JujuMamaStore.com. That is Kenya and Carl Stevens. Now, before we went to break, the doc asked you guys a question, specifically Carl. Carl, would you like to address that before we move on into the conversation?
And the question was, can you build a life with the person you're married to, but tell them, I'm really in love with someone else. We don't do emotions in our marriage, but we have a great life, and we're good in public. But I'm really in love with someone else. Is that okay? Can we be open about that?
Yeah, what happens is the emotions you have with your wife, as you guys stand the test of time, as you guys learn to be open and honest with each other, it turns into something that's, almost transcendent, right? So it's really not about, I feel this energy for her or this whatever. No, it moves more to unconditional love. It moves more to, like, we've been through so much together. Our bond is tight. Like, we're never splitting up, and we know that in our heart. We know that for sure. So, yes, I can have passion with other women. I can be in love with another woman or whatever, but that's never going to trump what I have with my wife. You know what I'm saying? Like, we've just been through so much together, and our bond is so tight.
So you guys are like Frank Underwood and Claire on the House of Cards.
Yes.
No, I understand.
I didn't see.
No,
I didn't see the House of Cards, but all I know is we live in bliss because I can have who the fuck I want, and my husband can as well. I mean, that's bliss.
Ooh.
That is beyond. That is beyond anything the Western mind can come up with. That's beyond any type of romance that all these movies are
She
about.
kind of
It's
ghetto.
bliss.
Let me get this.
It's bliss.
I understand what Carl's saying. I would just say call it to Carl because I've been married 35 years, and I think what we have is we have unconditional appreciation, which is we have been through amazing history together, the ups and the downs, and so that history, when you pause, you can be incredibly grateful and appreciative for those things, so I can understand what your guys are saying. So thank you.
Hey, hey.
This is Jeff Brown speaking.
I'm sorry, what was her name again?
That's Kenya and Carl.
Hey, Kenya and Carl.
Hey.
You're going to have to forgive my Western mind. I'm working with a Chicago high school public education from the 80s and Mythbusters. So, but I did understand you to say that your relationship, you have an open marriage for 20 years. Is that what you said?
We've been married for 20 years, open for 10.
Open for 10 years. Okay. Has either of you ever cheated on the other one?
No, we don't believe in cheating. It's a ridiculous concept. We've never had sex with somebody else without the other person understanding and knowing that this is what we're doing.
Wow.
Okay.
That's open. Now that's open.
Yeah.
That's open.
Yeah, and I have a Detroit public school education, so we on the same level. It's just a matter of how do you want to live your life? You want to live in fear, or do you want to live in power?
I believe both are possible. I fear lions. I fear lions because they like human meat once they've had it, and I think that's a healthy fear.
Sure, but you don't need to. But if your fear is your own emotion, like if you fear jealousy, or if you fear being hurt, or if you fear loss, those are things in your head. So you fear yourself. basically, if that's what we're saying.
That's a
I
good
don't know
point.
if that's the worst. I don't think that's the worst thing in the
Most people don't open
world.
because they live in fear. They live in fear of their own emotional state. They have no control of their own emotional state. And that's what we teach to thousands of clients all over the world.
But control is an
Gain
illusion.
control of your emotional state.
Control is an illusion.
Okay, so listen, we've got Uncle Bobby, author of Real Men Don't Play. He is somebody's uncle, namely mine. He's in the building right now. He gonna give you some of that old time wisdom. Uncle Bobby, what's your ideation on this whole conversation right now?
I think it's a very timely conversation that we all should really take very seriously and to heart, because you got one lifetime, and I've been able to live almost 60 years now, and I've loved and lost, and I'm just like everybody at this table trying to figure out what's best for the rest of my journey, and what's real about that, and what can I deal with and what I can't deal with. It. This notion of open relationship is semantical to me, in the sense that we're just using words. What does it really boil down to? What it boils down to me is, what can I tolerate? Not out of fear, not out of envy or any of these other things, but what is it I can tolerate from another person, maintain my self-respect and my sense of purpose, because I actually live with purpose. So having an open relationship may or may not work for me, because it's open today and closed tomorrow. I mean, because you get closer to people or you move further away from them. The sister said something a minute ago that I would like to say is not generally or universally true. You can be hot for somebody as long as you're hot for them. It can be a week, it can be 10 years, it can be 15 years. Because she said after 7 years max, you lose that drive to be with somebody. I'm not going to subscribe to that. I think you can have a hot relationship.
I don't think she was speaking absolutely, but I was thinking she was speaking in general.
No, she said that. She said 7 years and it's over. You're going to have to find that thrill somewhere else. Now, I'm not saying that it doesn't happen, because it does. You get with somebody and you max out. But every now and then you run into some new pussy at home.
Look at God.
Woo! Woo! If you look for it, it's new pussy right at the house.
Can I take my headphones out now, Lee?
Yeah.
The doors of the church is open.
Drop the mic.
Bobby said every now and then you can find some new pussy at home.
At the house.
On that note, we're going to take a quick break. We got to take a quick break. When we come back, more with Kenya and Carl Stevens of ZWMS.com. We'll be back at 2.2. The panel's on fire. Open relationships. I'll talk to you in a minute. Holla.
God damn it, Bobby. Mr. Bobby. I like that.
Pretty girl.
Ladies and gentlemen, the So What Morning Show has returned. This is a very, very hot topic. We're here with Kenya and Carl Stevens. They're in a open marriage. Been married for 20 years. Been open for the past 10. You can find them at JujuMamaStore.com. Check them out. Closing thoughts, Kenya and Carl. Talk to us about this most important subject.
Okay, what do you guys want to chat about? I mean, I don't know.
Let me ask you a
This
question.
conversation has been... Oh, go ahead.
Let me ask you a question. If monogamy, because we played these videos, I don't know if you guys can hear the videos during the break.
We can.
You can. If monogamy isn't in alignment with human biology, how then, and I ask this to the whole panel, how then can, say, a hypersexual or promiscuous person, man or woman, then be called or labeled or judged as promiscuous or hoish or immoral if we're not programmed to be monogamous? Talk to me. Here's your
Well, that happens all the time. It's been happening for centuries. I mean, we've been calling men dogs for centuries. Ask your great-grandmother, your greatest grandmother. First of all, marriage for men has never been a monogamous scenario. As soon as marriage was created 10,000 years ago, so was prostitution. Men have always had other partners on the side and mistresses, and that was completely normal up until 1950 in the feminist movement. But how can people be called these names? Because they allow it. If somebody tries to say that I'm slutty because I have more than one male partner, partner, I actually have 5, then I tell them to kiss my ass. What they're talking about is biblical. What they're talking about is religious. They're talking about their fears and their convictions and their learned behaviors. Everyone knows we all want sex and lots of it. It's a ridiculous notion.
Wow.
We're acting like children. That's what we're doing. We're acting like children.
Carl? Is Carl still there?
Do you have an opinion on that?
He folded clothes.
I think
Yeah,
Carl.
he didn't hear. We're in the middle of our work.
He folded clothes.
I got
That's
it.
where we are. I mean,
I got it.
Carl,
So
we don't believe that.
right now.
We don't believe that people have been functioning
smack
from
dab
their
in the middle of
proper
some other ass
from their
right
brain. They've
got
been
it.
functioning based on learned behaviors, like androids.
I got it. So let me ask you this. How can people get in contact with you? How can they find you? What your Twitter, social media, Instagram, website? How do they catch up with you?
Everything Juju Mama is easy to find by Googling Juju Mama. JUJUMAMA. We have 50 videos about this on YouTube. We have our Facebook, Twitter. Everything is Juju Mama. JUJUMAMA.
Well, I'd like to say thank you very much. You've provided a lot of insight, based experiential insight. This ain't just something
needs to
she
come
read
on
about.
again.
Right. She dropped science, and we appreciate it. Thank you so much for joining the show. We've got other guests, other callers. We will have you back soon. Thanks again, Kenya. Now, ladies and gentlemen, we have a phone call all the way from England. A professor,
Julie.
Professor Eric Anderson, who shall speak on this subject.
Speak, sir.
Anyway, we're talking about open marriages and if this is a viable solution to infidelity, cheating in relationship. What are the pros and cons of this, Professor Eric Anderson? Speak to me.
Mr. Anderson.
Well, clearly there's a lot of pros to open sex relationships because one can have the sex outside of the primary relationship that they want without having to go behind someone's back for it.
So let me say,
It's an open agreement between two individuals. There's always rules about it, who they can have sex, when they can have sex. Are they having sex in the forms of threesomes only, or can it be purely one-on-one outside the relationship? So there's still rules to it, but the general structure of it is one that's designed to remove jealousy from the relationship and allow people to have sexual relationships with someone else of sex only, not for emotional attachment, just for sex.
Doc, let me ask you this, and everybody on the panel, let me ask, do you think jealousy is a sign of immaturity?
No.
Look, can we delve into that? Can we go into that?
It depends on who's jealous and why.